Every day, hundreds of VTubers go live and stream to their thousands of viewers. But how well do these VTubers know the animals that their character is based off of? In this new series, I'm going to be asking VTubers how well do they know the animals that they represent. Welcome everyone to Butterfly or Flop, featuring Peri Indigo, aka Peri.
Nice to have. Thank you for having me. Oh god. Immediately stealing the host nest from you. Hello. Nice to have you, Miva. Welcome on.
Doing a lot of the research for this episode, I've learned a lot about butterflies.
Don't spill my secrets. I'm very normal. We're so normal. How dare you?
Are you?
We're not weird. We're normal contributors to society.
All right, well, shall we just hop into the questions?
Yahoo!
First we have science.
Oh no, not the stem.
Question number 1. Butterflies actually taste with their proboscis, their feet, or they don't taste at all?
Feet.
Are you sure about that?
85% confident. I'm a feet girl. We go feet.
Did you used to run track?
Yeah? The asphalt tastes great. You know, that's how you begin to develop a taste for Soylent and Lunchables.
Actually, I did hear that Lunchables had an unusually high amount of, was it lead?
It was lead. When the news came out, I had like 6 people message me. I was like, oh no.
Do you still have them or did you throw them away?
No, I ate them. I'm not wasting the food.
Peri, there's lead.
It's too late for me. If there was a problem, I already have it. It's fine. Like 2 more Lunchables worth is not gonna make an appreciable difference. The damage has been dealt.
All right, well, you are correct. It is feet.
I was feet.
Congratulations. That's 1 point for you.
A victory for the foot community.
Next question. Many adult butterflies use so much energy in their day-to-day functions that they actually can't move for 40% of the day. They actively shorten their lifespans by 15%, or they never poop.
Butterflies are anime girls? Confirmed?
I mean, you are a butterfly VTuber, so you're not wrong. Butterflies are in fact anime girls.
I think the answer though is the first one. I think it's 40% of the day.
Any specific reasoning for that?
Vibes. I don't think there's any animal that doesn't poo. And for the middle one, I hate the idea of shortening my lifespan, so I simply do not want to choose that option.
Unless it's with Lunchables.
That's different.
Is it though?
It's like not necessarily shortening my lifespan as much as it is changing the quality of the lifespan that I have remaining. Which is fine, I think. It's like a choose your own adventure.
Choose your
real life. You know? Those little books where you're like
Peri,
the rainbow fish with the scale.
Peri, I think choose your own adventure is just life.
It's just life. It's just life.
Yeah!
I mean, maybe not. I guess that depends whether or not you believe in destiny. But we're not going to get into the existentialism right now.
We really need like a slice of life philosophy anime. Like every episode is a different one. And then you can like, depending on your target demographic, either waifuify or husbandify each philosopher.
Wouldn't that just be Hitalia, but like with philosophers then?
I was thinking more FGO, but honestly, they're like 2 sides of the same coin. You're right, you're right.
The correct answer is they actually
Never
never poop.
Really?
Yep.
I don't poop.
Like there's nothing to exit the body.
my
It's all
God.
consumed.
We wouldn't have global warming if our energy systems were like butterflies. There's no exhaust. I could solve climate change.
Let's move on to question number 3. The largest species of butterflies can reach, is it 15 centimeters across? Is it 30.5 centimeters across? Or is it 6 feet and 9 inches, aka Peri's reported height?
I think I have to pick a particular answer. I am legally obligated to pick 6'9", but I'm like, it probably has to be 15 centimeters, right? Butterflies don't get that big. It's the moths that get big. Though, if you want like a Dami mommy, you have to go look for the moths. I don't think butterflies get that big.
Are you saying that you're actually a moth?
No. We lack mommy features here. I have no butt. You gotta look elsewhere. We may have height, but really, that's all I can offer to you. I think I have to pick 6'9".
6'9", final answer?
Yes.
It is actually 3.5. They get big.
What? I thought that was moth territory. I didn't realize butterflies get that big.
Nope, they get that big.
Oh, we competing. I see.
Well, now that we talked about the largest species, let's talk about the smallest.
Whoa.
While the smallest species is it 6 millimeters, aka Peri's reported height, 3 centimeters, or 1.25 centimeters?
I would like to issue a public statement that I am not 6 millimeters tall or long or wide. None of my WDH is 6 millimeters. How dare you? I would like to file a complaint for slander against whoever reported that information to you. 6 millimeters is definitely too small. 3 centimeters feels too big. I think I gotta go 1.25.
What makes you think
This
3
is
centimeters
based
is too big?
It's too even of a number. I need a decimal. If we're going too small, we gotta have a decimal point in there. This is how I pass math class. Don't doubt me.
You're correct. Let's go on to the next question. The fastest butterfly on record topped out at a speed of, is it 20 kilometers per hour, 3 kilometers per hour, or 60 kilometers per hour?
As much as I hate to say this, we are not going that fast. It has to be 3. Any butterfly that claims 25 kilometers per hour is riding an electric bike that has a motor in it. I'm going 3. There's no way it's not.
You're wrong. It's actually 20.
What?
Some butterflies are
that
fast.
Am I just slow?
Yes.
Male butterflies drink from mud puddles because
Oh.
they can extract minerals. It helps to regulate their body temperature. Or because they basically get drunk off of it.
I think butterflies are not intellectually complex enough to have the third option happen.
I don't know. I've seen some wobbly butterflies in my day. It'll be like, I'm going left, 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 and then suddenly it goes like a hard right.
Well, that was just me trying to get my driver's license. The top two both sound very, like very possible. Because when you're thinking about insects that small, they don't have like their own body temperature regulation. So needing to have a system makes sense. But at the same time, needing minerals also makes sense. I am gonna go with body temperature.
Body temperature?
Yes.
Final answer?
Yes. Too hot.
It is
Hot
actually so
summer.
they can extract minerals.
We're not too hot! Tragic.
While we're on the topic of puddles, they actually like to congregate within mud puddles. So when a group of butterflies gather in a mud puddle, they call this a cuddle puddle, a puddle club, or a piddle puddle.
Who's calling it that? I think it's the middle one, the puddle club.
The puddle club? Because...
The last one sounds like pee, so I reject it.
Are we locking in puddle club?
Yes, we are.
You are correct.
Scientist, I got you. I knew you would never do piddle puddle.
I believe we're on to our last question of this round. Until 1912, scientists thought that butterflies were actually just weird moths. That they were unrelated to caterpillars, or that they were actually deaf.
There's no way they didn't know they were related to caterpillars. I have much more faith than that in pre-modern society. So probably deaf is the correct answer. I don't get butterflies here. I think me in 2024, I think butterflies are deaf. I mean, I don't have information otherwise, so like who knows? But maybe I'm not scientist, so it makes sense that maybe they know and I don't. Maybe it's deaf. I think it's deaf.
You think it's deaf?
Yes.
Final answer?
Yes. Yeah!
Yep. Butterflies can actually hear. I don't know what they're hearing for.
I don't know what they're hearing.
Like I don't know what that serves them in their day-to-day functions,
maybe
but
that's where the voices came from. Oh, it all makes sense.
let's talk about folklore. How up to date are you on folklore?
Is folklore changing? Is that something I need to be up to date on? I thought folklore stopped updating in like the 1800s when we got science.
I think that's like the whole point of archaeology, isn't it? To like discover
so.
like relics that are
unearth
like
more things.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, archaeologist,
which
Peri
case-
thinks your job is done.
In which case? Oh, this is all to say I'm not up to date on the folklore.
In Rome, there is a statue with a butterfly that's coming out of its mouth. This is believed to symbolize a warning to not eat bugs.
Valid?
Faunus, aka Pan if you're a fan of Greek mythology instead of Roman, Faunus is just really petty, and that he will grow bugs inside your stomach. Or is it the soul leaving the body after death?
Me thinking about the Roman Empire at all times. It's definitely not A. The Romans weren't making statues for PSA purposes. The second one, the Faunus one, is actually like surprisingly possible because Greek mythology is just like dudes being men, or like gals being ladies, you know?
That's what they do in fraternities.
You
Just
don't need a
curse their
fraternity to
enemies.
do that. You just need to be bored for an hour at 9 p.m. on a Thursday. But the third one sounds the most like traditionally mythological. I think I'm gonna go with the second one. I feel insane, but I'm gonna go with the second one.
You think it's
The
just
third
gods being
one?
petty?
I think it's dudes being men. But it could very easily be the soul leaving the body after the death because that's like the sort of symbolism that you would see all across Etsy when you type in the word butterfly.
You locked in Faunus being petty.
I did. No! It was Etsy!
It was
Pinterest was
Etsy.
right all along!
Moving on from Rome,
I'm off to a great start.
let's talk about indigenous tribes. Certain indigenous groups believe that if you catch a butterfly and then you release it unharmed, it will come back and be your familiar, that it will grant you a wish, or that it is a sign that you are ready to go on the hunt.
Come back and be your familiar sounds cool, but like, what's a butterfly gonna do for you? From a utilitarian perspective, I would rather have a dragonfly, or like, or even better, like a dog. Than that. So maybe if you can catch and release a butterfly unharmed, then you have like some minimal level of dexterity, and you are ready to go on the hunt.
You're gonna go with the hunt?
No!
Unfortunately, they will grant you a wish.
So it was like a blowing the dandelion. I see.
Yes.
I see.
Although I do like the
No.
idea of you being like, I need a dog for my familiar. I think a dog will just naturally be your familiar anyways. While we're sticking on indigenous tribes, while butterflies cannot speak directly to anyone, there were tribes in the American Southwest that believed that butterflies could communicate with the Great Spirit, with humans, but only via their dreams, or specifically with babies.
I'm going to go with babies because vibes. Period. It's Vulcan!
Locking in the babies.
No, it
It
was
is
the
the
answer
Great
I
Spirit.
didn't think about. Sorry, God.
I think we have one more left in folklore.
Ooh.
But this time we're going from the Americas to Ireland. So, in some Irish folklore, butterflies were a tool of communication from the maidens, fairies,
Maidens?
or centaurs.
We got no maidens. It has to be fairies. I played Lost Belt 6 of Fate Grand Order, so I think it has to be fairies.
Back to the question at hand, though. So,
I think fairies because my favorite Fate Order character is Oberon. We gotta go fairies.
wait, Oberon? All right, we're gonna get off topic. We go back into Fate Go again.
I'll drag us there, don't worry.
Fairies is correct.
Yeah! Look at what Fate Go taught me. This is like getting a correct answer in history class because you watched the relevant episode of Hetalia and being like, oh, my brain is so cooked.
That should be it for folklore. So now we're in the final stretch, which is media.
Wah, wah, wah.
This is not going to be focused on any one particular form of media. It's going to be several different medias. Which of these is not a butterfly-based Pokemon?
Oh, I can do this one. Oh, thank God. When this was media, I thought this was gonna be like normal people pop culture, and I was like, oh, I'm been smashed into the ground. But no, if it's Pokemon, I can do it. It's obviously Cutiefly. I don't think that's a Pokemon unless it was released in a recent generation that I'm not aware of.
Okay, so you're locking in Cutiefly?
Yes.
You are correct.
Oh, yeah.
Cutiefly is more of a B. On to the next question. Butterfly-themed wrestler Princesa Suhe is well known for her portrayal as the villain, whose mission was to rid Lucha Libre of referees, Canadians, or metal chairs.
It has to be referees. This sounds like this sounds like an anarchy situation, and therefore we must take down the law, and in wrestling that must be referees. I'm locking in on referees.
You want to lock in referees?
Yes.
It's actually Canadians.
Oh my God.
Her sole mission was to get rid of the Canadians from Lucha Libre. Let's go to anime.
Ooh.
In Bleach, the Espada Sailaparo Grande's Resurrección requires him to consume his Zanpakuto Fornicaras, which translates to what in English? Is it early spring, Lepidopteran dust, or you will fornicate?
I hope it's not the last one. I don't remember this. I think it's probably the Lepidopteran dust. The term sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard it in a podcast at some point. So I'm going with Lepidopteran dust.
Final answer?
Yes. What?
Unfortunately, it is you will fornicate. I don't understand what the logic is behind this.
Bleach, why?
Okay. I will send you the photo later. For those who are going to be watching the video, the photo will be somewhere on the screen. I don't know what this guy's power has to do with fornication. It really doesn't.
Oh, it's just anime logic. It's like the classic situation whenever there's like a show that refers to German and the German's like the most gibberish thing that anyone's ever seen.
I told you not to disturb me. What do you mean? You're thinking in Japanese, aren't you? If you must think, do it in German.
Well, I'll try. Strudel, bratwurst.
Let's talk about The Matrix. In The Matrix, executive producers requested that a line that referred to The Matrix as a chrysalis be cut because they thought etymology references were too nerdy.
Too nerdy?
They wanted a line that seemed more techie. Or they didn't think audiences would know what a chrysalis was.
Oh, these are also possible. If it's a movie about an internet world, it shouldn't be, too nerdy shouldn't be possible, right? A chrysalis isn't even that nerdy of a term. I am going to go with a line that seems more techie. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Line that seems more techie? Final answer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is actually the chrysalis. They did not think that they didn't believe.
Oh no.
They did not believe in the audience.
Oh.
Moving on from The Matrix to other really well-known movies. In the Titanic, Rose has a butterfly comb and a kimono with wings like sleeves. Many believe that this symbolizes the fact that the costume designer just really liked butterflies. Her change into a confident woman in control of her own destiny. Or that the rich silky fabrics are like a protective cocoon, but also trapping.
I barely remember the Titanic. I think it's probably the third one because I don't remember her having control over her destiny at the end of the movie. Cause doesn't the guy save her? Like she was not the subject of that sentence. She was the object of that sentence.
I
Probably.
mean, debatable
I don't
who you
remember. It's been
ask.
so long.
Like I said, they prove that two people can in fact fit on that door. So like,
True.
she kind of did just choose to leave him in the water.
With all we've learned, I think Jack's death was needless.
I think it's the answer for this though is the cocoon, the third one.
The cocoon? You don't think it's the fact that the costume designer just liked butterflies?
I mean that's a very Hollywood answer. Were they trying? I don't know. Were they trying to be deep with that movie?
All right, locking in the cocoon. It was to represent her change into a confident woman in control of her own destiny.
I'm sorry, Rose. I said you weren't in control.
No,
I stole your autonomy from you. I'm sorry. I didn't remember that part of the movie.
Rose chose to leave him in the water. She chose to not let him on the door.
I thought she was just hanging out. Which is like, honestly, that's life goals, you know? You just roll with the waves. It's all good.
All right, I think we are on our last question of the night. The butterfly effect is based in part on a concept from chaos theory that suggests that something as subtle as the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil could trigger a tornado in Texas. The creator of said theory, Edward Norton Lorenz, originally used a seagull in his example, but was convinced to change it to a butterfly because it would be more poetic that way. Seagulls were too big and therefore more believable, or his assistant was just afraid of birds and didn't want to think about them.
That's so Giga Chat. Just tell your boss, can we rename this? I don't like birds. Seagulls, outside of like Umineko, seagulls are not very poetic. Probably poetic. I've been avoiding the poetic answer this entire time. Like when I picked guys being dudes earlier, when the correct answer was the like Pinterest poetry answer. So now I've learned from the error of my ways, and we will be picking it would be more poetic that way.
So do you want to lock in it would be more poetic?
Yep.
Correct!
Look at all the things that we learned over the course of today. It's always picked a poetry answer.
The moral of the story, always pick poetry. You're studying for your SAT right now? Poetry.
Pick the poetry answer! I got a perfect score on reading and writing on the SAT. Listen to me. Pick the poetry answer or pick C.
You're studying for calc? Poetry.
Pick the poetry answer.
2 + 2 = 4? No. 2 + 2 = 5? Poetic. Today's total is...
It's not a passing grade.
Not quite. You have 7 answers correct.
Out of?
18.
It's like a 50-50. It's just a smidge below a 50-50 according to Peri math. I'm gonna count that as half. Poetically speaking, that's effectively half. Gold star. Thank you.
Peri, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, do you want to shout anything out while you're here?
Everyone go check out Mifa. It's episode 1 out of Poetically Infinite. Thank you.
Everyone, please go check out Peri on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. All the links will be down in the description. Thank you so much for hanging out today.
Thank you.
Remember to brush your teeth. Don't forget to floss. But most importantly, remember that you are somebody's best boy. I will see you all next time. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Just best boys being dudes.